We're ready to go. Watch it from the very start. Remember a year ago, City in front after 12 seconds. And it's the same routine. Back to Stefan Ortega, who's taken a fair few seconds to pump it forward towards Haaland this time.
I was going to say it can't happen again, can it?
Well, it might be happening for Rashford, because that is a really forceful run. And it's a good job for City. It was Kyle Walker running with him.
Absolutely. There's not many people who will beat him in a race, Kyle Walker. I seem to remember he did that in the game at the Etihad when Marcus Rashford went through as well.
De Bruyne. Haaland. Trying to keep clear of McTominay and Amrabat. Guardiola's chip in. Haaland has gone down. Strong appeals. Rodri's got in the face of Andy Madley, but he's not interested. It's the first piece of work to do for the afternoon for the VAR, Michael Oliver.
Well, he certainly comes into the back of him, you know that. There's definitely contact. I mean, it's a wonderful ball in. Go back to that clear and obvious thing again, though, don't you? You can see why he's screaming, and rightly so, I think.
Not enough there to overturn the on-field decision. Seems strange to see Pep Guardiola in a suit. We've got used to that lucky jumper.
You're in a suit as well, by the way, looking very smart.
It's a big day.
You don't look as good as Pep does, though.
That's not a surprise. Varane.
I think it's really interesting to look at the team selection and look at McTominay and Amrabat and Mainoo, and then one of the reasons why they're probably playing those three is because of the legs in there to try and stop the legs of Foden and Kevin De Bruyne trying to get on that ball.
Just run away from Mainoo. Kovacic is flattened by Amrabat, who's had a little bit of a mini resurgence to his season-long stay at Manchester United. Hasn't been a glittering loan from Fiorentina. Pep Guardiola thinks a little bit differently to not just other coaches, but pretty much anybody else on the planet who watches football. Not many coaches would have just casually swapped both centre-backs for the FA Cup final.
Just like that. I think this will happen for large parts of the game, you know, in terms of Man United having to suffer when City are in possession, but they've got to stay tight, they've got to be together, otherwise they'll be punished, and they can do that, and then they can hit them on the break, which they're more than capable of doing.
John Stones. Bruyne had just threatened to spin away from Mainoo, but the ball went back the other way. It is a familiar pattern in the early stages of pretty much every Manchester City game.
Just having a look at Scott McTominay as well, keeping having a look over his right shoulder there, just have a look where Rodri is to try and stop him getting on the ball and dictating the pace of the game.
Kovacic. Bernardo Silva wide on the right. Guardiola is the de facto left winger. Pushing forward from full-back. Walker. Dallow's challenge, City's throw.
Yeah, they've got to get that right. When they decide to go, they've got to get it right. And they certainly did on that occasion. It's time to push and squeeze. You've all got to do it as a team, not just individuals.
Nathan Ake's had the ball at his boots more than anybody else so far. Bernardo Silva. 3 goals in the last 2 rounds, and curiously, every one of them deflected in. Ake. As we expected, Bruno Fernandes is the most prominent, pushing forward for United in the middle. Stones. De Bruyne. Walker. Bernardo Silva behind him. Walker has drifted into the thick of it.
He just had a little look up there and saw Vardy on that left-hand side, but his first touch just let him down. It took him into the traffic in the middle of the park.
De Bruyne. Manchester United getting nowhere near the ball. They've barely been able to play a pass.
Yeah, that's all right. You can be patient. That's what they'll do. But so long as they don't allow those gaps to happen and be patient, that's what they're doing at the minute, and it's working okay for them in the first 5 minutes or so.
De Bruyne. Bernardo Silva will be kept away from that by Dalot. Menu. Now the passes start to happen, although it wasn't the best of balls from McTominay. Varane digs it out to Wan-Bissaka, and for the first time down that side there's a little bit of room.
Yeah, and that's why you're patient, because you know you're going to get the ball at some stage, and then you've got to do what you can on it. And important that you don't give it away straight away and let City to come straight back at you. So it's their turn to try and keep the ball.
Menu. Wan-Bissaka.
And at times try and punish that high line that City will keep, because they have the pace to hurt them. There's no doubt about that. And McTominay will be given that licence as well, just as he is now, just further up the field.
Manchester City's turn to be the spectators and chase the ball for a bit. Martinez. Barely played since the 4th of February. He only started 8 Premier League games all season. Now it goes long to Rashford. Walker is there with him and gets in front of him. Stones might not be thanking him for that pass though, although City have got the throw-in.
Brilliant from that man again, Kyle Walker. Rashford actually times his run really well with the ball in behind, but because of his pace, Kyle Walker, he allows him a yard or two and still gets back and wins the ball back.
Walker will be 34 on Tuesday. Doesn't look to have slowed any.
If I was Rashford, I wouldn't mind going on trying it on the other side now and again, you know, just to get away from Kyle Walker and see what Vardy's like against him, you know, using his pace.
There's McTominay. Bruno Fernandes. Garnacho has a little bit of space, and it wasn't a bad shot. It's one on target, straight at Ortega, but that is the first effort for Manchester United.
And it was a decent effort. He didn't have any other option really, just to move the ball out of his foot and have that pop at goal, and I thought he did it really well. He's put his head down and had the shot straight at Ortega, though it didn't really trouble him. But encouragement for Man United. Just gives you a little bits of encouragement, you know, when you get little half chances like that in the game.
De Bruyne sends Foden away running. Martinez pops it over the head of Haaland. Bernardo Silva. Beautifully done by Bernardo Silva. Foden just ran out of room at the end.
It was actually him that put the ball in originally for Haaland, and Haaland didn't make the run to the near post, which is what he wanted there. But then Bernardo Silva tries that little ball into the back post, and it's decent defending by Wan-Bissaka.
He's already made history this season. There'll be a little bit more if his team today can be the first to achieve the double in back-to-back seasons. The double-double.
It's not bad, is it? Incredible.
I think we talk about it a little too blasely. It's almost like we expect it to happen, but the winning mentality is incredible from this group of players.
Staggering. That all comes from him. He's got to lead these players. He's got to send messages out to them. I know they go out and then have to do it on the football pitch, but it all comes from him.
Leading Manchester City out for their 13th FA Cup final. Will that be a bad omen for them? It's a record 22nd for United. They lost their 13th. 1995, 1-0 to Everton. Paul Rideout.
Used to play with him at Southampton many years ago. Can you remember that?
I do just. I had dark hair then, and you had...
Lots of it.
Yeah. Guardiola. Amrabat has to go back to Onana. Onana sorts his feet out to find Martinez. Stones.
Having a look at Rashford there, he has gone into the middle, you know, which is fine. He's got the freedom to do that, because already twice, as we said, with Kyle Walker in the race, Kyle Walker's beat him. So go and try somewhere else. Go try down the middle or on the other side. There's no harm in doing that if you've got the freedom to do it.
Bernardo Silva. Rodri. Foden. Over to Guardiola. Kovacic. De Bruyne. This is menacing from Manchester City. Varane got his head to it. Martinez puts his boot through it.
Really good defending that from Varane. A tricky ball with De Bruyne on that left-hand side. Positioning was spot on.
Kovacic has just asked a little too much of Kevin De Bruyne, but it has forced Varane to put the ball out.
And again, good defending, because Kevin De Bruyne just runs off the back of Wan-Bissaka. But Varane spots it really quickly.
His 95th and final game for Manchester United. He's seemed quite emotional over the last couple of weeks at the thought of leaving. He'll want to put on a good show, and he is doing so far. So's Martinez. Could it have been a different story for United this season had they had those two fit and in partnership all season?
Yeah, absolutely. There's no doubt about that. They've played could have played a key part in what they've done, or what they could have done this season. But everyone's had injuries. Man United have probably had more than most, particularly on that area of the pitch.
15 different centre-back combos. Onana didn't look convincing, and he's a little bit lucky that that's come off Foden and gone out for a throw. Foden coming over to the right, switching a bit with Kevin De Bruyne.
Oh, they're tough to pick up. One can go on the left, one can go and play in the 10 position. They can both play in that 10 position. Again, they've got the freedom to do that as well.
And they combine now, although nobody's over out on the left-hand side. Not that they'll need to be, because Andy Madley has brought play back for a City free kick. It was Martinez on Foden, and I think he knew what he was doing.
Just left his leg there, didn't he, Martinez? Not sure there was much contact though, eh? I think Foden was expecting it, don't you, when he jumped up?
A De Bruyne delivery. They're not usually that bad.
High line.
Haaland's waiting behind it.
Got to be brave.
Maybe Madley wants a word with one or two. Done the set now, the ref. FA Trophy final, FA Vase final, and now the biggest of all. Corner in. There's Varane again.
3 good touches in the last 4 or 5 minutes he's had, hasn't he? Using all of his experience.
Penny for his thoughts. What a difficult week he's had.
A difficult season he's had.
Kovacic. Another Manchester City throw in an FA Cup final that's nearly 16 minutes old and has yet to spark. Haaland. Bernardo Silva. Blocked by Dalot, who has been one of the brighter lights for United this season.
Sloppy again though from Manchester City, wasn't it? Been in some good positions, but it's just that final ball that's been lacking at this moment in time.
Bernardo Silva. Inside Dalot. Foden.
Like that. That sums them up in the first 16 or 17 minutes, doesn't it?
I was half expecting Bernardo Silva to do something other than pass square. It was just the sort of position he likes.
Well, they've worked it really well a couple of times for someone to go down that left-hand side and be found with the ball, but as I said, on 2 or 3 occasions it's just been that final ball or that final pass, because that side is open.
Carries on like this, the sweater will be back on at half-time.
In this heat.
You've asked him that once already.
I have.
McTominay. Cut out by Guardiola. Plenty of time for Stefan Ortega. Manchester City fans have plenty of time for Stefan Ortega.
Just trying to draw a Manchester United player in to try and close him down so they can outnumber you in the midfield.
They're not being suckered in yet.
Not yet.
Kovacic, De Bruyne. Immediately, the United pegs are back in their correct slots. Rodri. Foden. Both teams playing a good few degrees within themselves so far. Kovacic. Silva's turn to take an infield role. Kovacic. Stones.
Lots of passes, but no way through yet. Credit to Manchester United. They're holding firm. They're being tight as you'd have to be. And there's no space as yet. But this is what Manchester City try to do. They try to pass you, try to wear you down, tire you, all of those things.
There's another example of what you were pointing out earlier.
They'll be pleased, Man United. As I said, they're forcing them into errors. They've not really created anything yet. They had that penalty scare, didn't they, early on, but other than that, they've not really offered anything, and that's down to Manchester United being tight and compact and everyone doing their job really well at the minute.
Eric Ten Hag said this week, often against good opponents we play our best football. They're not playing a whole lot of football right now, but they are incredibly well organised and they're doing what they have to do. This is when they can and must play. Mainu up towards Rashford. Walker's just winning the duel, but he's given it away now. And he owes John Stones a pat on the back. Ortega can't hang around. Bruno Fernandes has sprung into action now. Bernardo Silva, Stones. United getting busy. Ortega took a risk there. Ake up and away. Was Kovacic to the rescue for City that time. And here's Haaland. Dalot slides in, brings down Erling Haaland, and it is going to be a City free kick, but the referee's going back because Kyle Walker has a problem. He's down and out.
Yeah, he just went up to try and win the header and fell really awkwardly, I think, Kyle Walker. Again, he did really well in winning the ball back for Marcus Rashford, but he didn't nearly put his team in trouble, as did the goalkeeper Ortega, who were trying to play out from the back. Kovacic there, just getting his toe there ahead of Bruno Fernandes. Playing a risky game there when there's so many Manchester United players closing you down. That's the ball they want you to play, the Man United players, because they can smell danger.
It's the sort of thing United have been patiently waiting for, but also it's the sort of thing City won't mind, because the more they push, of course, there are the gaps.
Absolutely. It lightened up anyway for a minute, didn't it?
Yeah, the chess match ended just for a moment. Bernardo Silva, just a slight lapse in concentration, and then as he tried to recover, he was guilty of a foul on Dalot.
He was too keen to blow his whistle there, the referee, because Rashford was away. And so did the Manchester United fans, because you could hear them moaning at the referee for doing that.
McTominay. Wan-Bissaka. Mainu. Garnacho. Trying to burst past Nathan Ake. Couldn't do it.
Good defending. Good, clever, patient defending. Strong. Not allowing him to get past him at all. Watching that ball out.
Alejandro Garnacho, the scorer of match of the day's goal of the season.
Rightly so. What a goal it was, eh?
Better than Wayne Rooney's?
I think it was, yes.
Oh.
He's went off his shin.
I was talking about the one against Newcastle.
Forgot about that, believe it or not.
Guardiola Kovacic. Guardiola faced by Wan-Bissaka. Bernardo Silva. And trapped by Dalot. De Bruyne. Kovacic. Stones. Manchester United now just make City hurry the passes a little bit more. Well, they did briefly.
No, there's just no space for them at the minute. Wherever that ball goes, there's a red shirt closing them down and no space.
Guardiola has to go back to Ake.
But it is hard work having to chase that ball for long periods.
What do you reckon, 25 degrees down there?
Yeah.
Walker. Foden. Bernardo Silva, Foden. Kovacic arrives. Pulls it back behind Haaland, and Mainu will beat Guardiola to the ball.
Well, that's how they can open you up. With the first touch like that from Phil Foden. That's what made it.
Mateo Kovacic timed his burst beautifully. Sometimes with City, they only need one sniff like that, and the hunt has started. First time they threatened to get in round the back.
Well, they did it really well. As I said, it was the first touch of Foden that opened his body up, which then put Manchester United in trouble with they were able to play the ball in behind there in the run of Kovacic.
Guardiola. De Bruyne. Magnetic touches. Rodri. He came towards the ball, demanding it. Still wants it. De Bruyne gives him it. Half-turned Fernandes. De Bruyne. Rodri. Flicked away from Haaland by Varane. Bruno Fernandes. Well, Rashford might get to that, but Walker will beat him. And Ortega beats both of them.
Yeah, they're having to stay with the runners because Phil Foden and De Bruyne, the movement of those two in trying to get that ball and trying to get in that space. But the runners at the minute are staying with them.
Foden is fouled by Bruno Fernandes. So Gareth Southgate here watching for Foden and De Bruyne. Can we read Foden and Bellingham in a few weeks' time?
What a prospect, eh? Two great players, two great seasons. Can it all come together?
Stop making us giddy. Too soon. The excitement will soon ramp up. Let's hope it does in this final too. Kovacic. Bernardo Silva. Walker to Guardiola. Bissaka just had a problem with the sun in his eyes briefly. Bounces back off Guardiola and safely behind for United.
Yeah, good defending. Moved the ball this time with a longer pass, but the distance it travelled, you've got to get everyone across. And this is the first touch from here when I was on about Foden. This opens his body up, which then you can see the bigger picture, and then he's got the run of Kovacic, but he pulls it back and there's no one coming in there to tap that ball in.
And just for a moment, it didn't look dissimilar to the opening goal early on against West Ham last Sunday, but unlike West Ham, United had plenty of numbers back in the right places. Given away to Amrabat. Dallo. And Garnacho. And he held his run and timed it well enough. Ortega's come out, and it's a gift of a goal for Garnacho!
Well, that's what happens when you gamble. That's what happens when you don't give up and chase it. I just wonder whether they thought it was offside, you know, the Man City players for that original first run.
Well, they're asking the question now, and VAR will have the full forensics on it, but for me, he looked onside right from the start. And Manchester City have got themselves in a right old mess, and it's United who fully punished it.
Well, he times his run to perfection, you know, and that's what happens when you're patient. As I said, sometimes you've got to gamble and expect a mistake. There's that run in there, look, you can see he's clearly onside, and he's hoping for an error. He's hoping for a nudge from the defender. It's better than that. He's given a tap in.
Who's at fault here? Ortega or Guardiola or both?
Well, both of them. A lack of communication. Guardiola hasn't got a clue where he is. The keeper's in no man's land, isn't he? Thank you very much. How do you want it on a plate? Absolutely.
The FA Cup final has finally started for real. It's City 0, United 1.
Oh, you're dreaming about that last night, aren't you? Give me an open goal from 7 yards out. Thank you very much.
Well, he hasn't had one of those all season. They don't come around very often. To come around here and now, well, that's incredible.
Well, that ball's happened twice on this side of the pitch with Rashford and with Kyle Walker a couple of times. But Kyle Walker's got back and managed to get rid of the problem.
Foden. Cleared away from Haaland by Varane, who's been outstanding from the start.
He has, he's been dominant. His positional sense has been fantastic.
Bruno Fernandes. Now Rashford. John Stones will just get there first, and he had to. And Bruno Fernandes has just waved his arms around in the direction of the United fans. He's loving this noise. The little click in confidence that will give all in red, on and off the field.
Well, every player, every single player at the minute in a red shirt is doing their job to perfection in terms of sticking with the runners, not allowing Man City any space. And then in the opportunity when they've got to try and hit them on the break, they've done it well.
Goal scorer Garnacho. Back with Onana. He's not had a save to make yet. He's looking for Dallo. Quite often you see him make those runs.
It's hard work coming all that way back though.
Kovacic. Rodri. Here's Stones. A little bit of an exchange with Walker. Bernardo Silva.
Well, you can see even Erling Haaland's having a moan up there that the ball's not going in quick enough, soon enough. He feels as if they're passing it too much. He wants them to be able to be a little bit more direct. But their game won't change. They'll be patient. They've been in this position before, haven't they?
23 points from losing positions in the Premier League this season. And here come United once more. Garnacho, McTominay is in there. Manu couldn't hold off the challenge of Rodri. Bernardo Silva. Nobody's chasing that in blue. There was a telling sentence from Pep Guardiola this week saying, if it happens, I want to be beaten because they were better, not because we weren't who we are. And that's how it's been so far. Time for that to change, of course, but this is exactly where Manchester United wanted to be, and the game has mapped out exactly how they wanted it to.
The game plan is working. It's working to perfection at this minute in time. As I said, everyone is doing their job.
De Bruyne.
Like that. You see his reaction as well when he wins that tackle, Martinez. Encouraging all his teammates.
Stones. Ake. Silva, immediately his international colleague Gallo stands in front of him. Rodri. Kovacic. De Bruyne let it run to Haaland. He was being hemmed in.
Just no space.
Isn't that just the way it goes? Two of Manchester City's unsung heroes who've really come to the fore in the last few weeks, Stefan Ortega and Josko Guardiol, at fault for the opener.
Well, the goalkeeper was unbelievable when he came on, wasn't he, at Tottenham? He saved them with that one-on-one. He's cost them one today, though. Yeah, those passes, they're fine with that, Manchester United.
Bernardo Silva, something for Onana to do. It's City's first shot.
Most of those passes that we just saw have been in front of Manchester United. Very rarely have they troubled. They were passing behind, once with a Kovacic one and one early on in the first minute or so, but other than that, they've not been troubled, and Man United have been comfortable.
Varane, Garnacho, he's in again. He's got Rashford with him, and Garnacho picks him out, and now the flag goes up.
Well, we said about Man City keeping that high line, didn't we? It's incredibly tight again. Tries his very best to beat the offside trap, doesn't he, Garnacho? He's just off, though.
Yeah, this one won't count. Nicely put away by Rashford, but I think he knew. The body language told the story.
It was a good ball across and a good finish as well. Certainly encouraging. We said, didn't we, after 2 or 3 minutes with that high line that City had, Man United caused them problems at the Etihad with a similar sort of tactic and didn't punish them enough. But that's certainly on for them.
Yeah, he's taking out his frustrations on Simon Hooper, the fourth official there. They always get it. But he might have a few words to say to his players if the break comes and there's been no change, or it gets worse for Manchester City. Well, here's Rodri to try and make it get better. Pull back to De Bruyne to adjust his body shape. He wasn't set for that. Bruno Fernandes, Menu. Rashford denied what would have been his first Wembley FA Cup goal.
Pass that was.
Garnacho, here's Bruno Fernandes. Oh, what a ball! And Menu scores! Never mind the double-double. It's a Manchester United first-half double.
Just brilliant from Manchester United. The way they move the ball, the way they switch the ball with Rashford's pass. And then the way they play and pass and find Menu in there and the finish. Just sensational. What a goal that is. Full of confidence.
And it's the other Stockport footballing wonder. Not Phil Foden today so far. It's Kobbie Mainoo's moment. At 19 years old, he scores in the cup final. But take a bow, Bruno Fernandes.
Absolutely. And Garnacho, Fernandes and Menu and Rashford, who then started that move with that wonderful crossfield pass. But the pass from Bruno into Menu, what a pass and what a finish. Just guides it past the goalkeeper. The goalkeeper thinks he's going to go to his right-hand side, but he has the ability and the confidence to say, no, I'm going to put it where you're just walking across to me. And he tucks it in the corner. Yes, yes.
40 minutes in. City 0, United 2.
They deserve it. They've been far the better team.
Walker to De Bruyne. The champions well off their usual pace.
Yeah, they're off it because Man United are stopping them from playing. They're forcing them to errors. They're not allowing any space at all. Sticking with every single runner.
Rodri.
Where has this been all season?
Bernardo Silva. Now Kevin De Bruyne. That was a lovely pass from Bernardo Silva. And for once, or maybe not for once today, it wasn't quite the right ball from De Bruyne.
Well, I said Erling Haaland wants the early ball. That was probably perhaps too early, wasn't it? Had a little bit too much on it. Good movement from him. And just has a little bit too much pace on it for Haaland to get on the end of it.
Oh, to have a camera in his dressing room during the break.
See him going mad, and rightly so, because at the minute his team haven't turned up. Not many times you can say that. But for his first 42 minutes, he's been second best by far.
Given away by Stones. Bruno Fernandes, who's starting to really shine. Stones got in the way, making amends.
Another mistake. Nearly punished again.
Excluding that penalty shootout defeat to Real Madrid, Manchester City 35 games unbeaten before today. It's not just the FA Cup that's at stake today. There are other teams' futures at play too. As the offside flag is raised and City have a free kick. And if United win, they will be in the Europa League next season, otherwise they won't be in Europe at all. It would knock Chelsea out of that competition into the Conference League, and Newcastle out of Europe altogether.
I think the front 3 or 4 in McTominay, Rashford, Garnacho and Bruno Fernandes have made it really difficult for that back 4 of Man United, because they've got no one to mark. They've got no focal point, they've got no main centre forward. And at the minute their movement is superb and they've not been able to handle it.
Bernardo Silva. Rodri. Not enough weight to get the ball back to Bernardo. Guardiola. Rodri. Kovacic. Crowded out. De Bruyne just gets past Rashford, then left the ball behind. I think the spin helped him. McTominay. Little nudge on Scott McTominay brings United a free kick.
That's exactly what he wanted.
Sir Jim Ratcliffe with Sir Alex Ferguson and Sir Dave Brailsford in behind. Very happy nights.
They've got to get through to half-time at 2, haven't they? 2-0. And it would have been a wonderful half for Manchester United.
Sir Jim Ratcliffe bought his stake in Manchester United this season and immediately talked about, to echo the words of Sir Alex from years ago, knocking Liverpool and City off their perch. For today at least, that perch looks pretty precarious. De Bruyne Challenged by Mainu, and the referee's view is that he had to go through the player to get to the ball. And it's not just a free kick, it is a yellow card for the scorer of United's second goal.
2 minutes of additional time.
I don't think you can have too many complaints about that. Tackle from behind, quite dangerous. Yellow card.
The overzealousness of youth.
The first half he's had.
What a season he's had.
Absolutely.
What a summer he might have. Well into the first of 2 minutes of time added on. Andre Onana has only had one shot to save, and it was more of a gather. City really need to test him here. De Bruyne with the lift. No test came.
Sums their first half up, doesn't it? Poor. Hopeful ball in and no one getting on the end of it. Comfortable for Manchester United once again.
And an unfamiliar, uncomfortable feeling for them. Haaland. De Bruyne. Wan-Bissaka, who hooks his foot around to get it clear of Haaland. Kovacic. Guardiola. Wan-Bissaka thinks better of going directly to the ball. Bruno Fernandes snaps into the tackle. It'll go out of play, and it'll bring about the half-time whistle, with Manchester United in control. They got a present to get them going. Alejandro Garnacho gratefully gobbled it up, soon followed by a wonderfully well-crafted goal. Garnacho to Bruno Fernandes to Kobbie Mainoo. United's half, and as things are going, United's cup final. It's City 0, United 2.
Manchester City, leaving the field number 8, Mateo Kovacic, replaced by number 11, Jeremy Doku.
Thank you, Gary. No surprise that Manchester United haven't changed a thing. Why would they? Jeremy Doku and Manuel Akanji have replaced Mateo Kovacic and Nathan Ake.
Yeah, there was no surprise that he made a couple of substitutions, because that wasn't good enough from that Manchester City team in the first half. What we'd expect from them.
We've seen it so many times in the second half of games, not just this season but throughout Pep Guardiola's time as City's supremo. When he gets into them at half-time, there is usually a response.
Yeah, and what will happen is that Doku will try and hook this left touchline here and try and drag Wan-Bissaka out as much as he can, which will allow Foden to get inside a little bit more than he did in the first half.
Nacho's layoff close enough to Bruno Fernandes, and Akanji can steer it back Ortega's way.
Allow John Stones as well to play more in a midfield role as we've seen him play this season. He didn't quite do it in the first half.
Here's Dallow taking on Walker. Did well up to a point. Amrabat. Martinez. Four times in the past the team has come back from 2 goals down to win the FA Cup final. The last was 2014, Arsenal against Hull City. First was 1953, Blackpool Bolton, the Matthews final.
Did you watch it?
That's Rodri, and Onana has his bearings right. I don't think Pep Guardiola will have been too impressed by that.
No, you can tell by the frown, can't you? Although he was frowning a lot on that first half, and rightly so.
Onana to Amrabat. Martinez. Rashford, who's running in behind Walker, never quite able to get that under full control. It was always unlikely.
I think what City have done is that when Man United have had the ball there, they've gone 3 at the back and man for man. And what Rashford did is he just tried to come inside, which also, if he get the ball over the top, but the space to his left-hand side for Dallow to come round and tuck in and maybe get the ball himself.
Walker. Akanji. Doku into the action for the first time. Bernardo Silva. Just can't rid himself of Diogo Dallow. McTominay. To Wan-Bissaka. See the increased confidence about every Manchester United player.
It's a really good player again. They don't mind going back because you just got to try and keep hold of that ball. If there's no one up there, you can't just give it straight back to City. You've got to try and keep the ball, and this is what they're doing. They're doing it well.
Onana maybe took a little bit too much of a risk. It's Doku against Wan-Bissaka. And it's the United player who wins the duel. Bruno Fernandes. Mainu. Lovely ball through for Bruno Fernandes. And he's improvised expertly. Just couldn't finish the job.
It's that high line again and the timing of the runs. The runs are superb, particularly from Fernandes to break the offside trap.
That's a Guardiola foul on McTominay.
You can see him just pick his head up and see where the gap is. He looks there and he's off. There you go, he's off. He wants the ball, he gets it. It's a clever run.
Bruno Fernandes has scored 7 goals in his last 8 appearances. He's picked himself up. Erik ten Hag has picked the entire team up, it seems, this week. Got them ready, got them focused. They're in charge. And Bruno Fernandes is loving it.
He's got 15 goals in all competitions this season, and he's putting in a good performance up to now in this cup final.
Amrabat did brilliantly to stop Doku there, and this is Wan-Bissaka. Spins away from Garnacho. Doku. Nowhere to go. Akanji. Guardiola. Bernardo Silva. Martinez in front of Haaland.
Defending again.
Doku. Guardiola. De Bruyne. Foden. It's all too close. United trying to shuffle it away, and then Guardiola going in with Garnacho can only shove the ball behind for a goal kick.
And it's all down the middle. It's all congested. That's what Man United want. They want to force them inside where all the bodies are. Into the trouble.
For the first time, Guardiola has taken a seat. City fans have reverted back to the chant that had its origins way back in 1999, 25 years ago at Wembley. Paul Dickoff's goal and all that started the run back from the third tier. We're not really here, well they are, and it's really happening. Here's Garnacho. Garnacho's pulled back. Was that a risk? Well, here's Bruno Fernandes. United aren't done yet.
Well, City didn't get theirs in the first half. Man United not getting theirs in the second half.
Yeah, there was a check, but it was quickly cleared. Nothing too troubling for Andy Madley in the game yet.
No. Again, there's contact, but there's not enough to give a penalty there. No chance.
That's Rodri. Here's Doku. Foden. Amrabat got in the way. Guardiola. Doku. Played in towards Foden. We've seen him put them away first time, but didn't arrive at the right time in the right place for him.
Just thought it was a little bit too quick, wasn't it? Just couldn't really sort his feet out. He had to put that pace on it for the ball to get there, but he just couldn't get the connection that he wanted.
That was nearly the second goal against West Ham from last week all over again. And maybe that is just emblematic of how this afternoon has been. Knocked down to Foden. Doku. Sent on to be the key. Tried it again, and this is Haaland! And that bar is still shaking.
What a strike. Not really been involved in the game at all, but we know that doesn't bother him.
Getting closer, closest yet.
It's the best they've shown.
Bernardo Silva. Foden. Now it's the City fans you can hear. Doku. Wan-Bissaka wouldn't let him get completely clear, but it will be a corner. And it is the first corner of the entire game. That doesn't happen often.
No, not at all, no. They stretch him a little bit more, aren't they? Give him a little bit of width, though, Doku.
The substitute starting to make a difference. De Bruyne. Onana's got something on it, enough on it. Walker. Bernardo Silva. De Bruyne. It's over everybody, and it might be his last contribution. Julian Alvarez has been talking to Pep Guardiola for quite some time and is ready to come on.
Substitution for Manchester City, leading the field, number 17.
This was Haaland's biggest contribution yet.
He just manages to guide it, doesn't he? Just can't get it beneath that bar. It's a good strike. Keeper's got no chance, he's beaten. Just that little bit too high.
So there we go, Julian Alvarez is on, and Kevin De Bruyne has made way. His chance has gone to be the second to score in 2 FA Cup finals for Manchester City, for this year anyway. Bobby Johnston did it back-to-back years, 1955 and 56. Not been Kevin De Bruyne's best day, that's for sure.
Not at all, no. We see much better quality from him with his free kicks and his balls into the box. It was one in the first half, wasn't he, that Haaland couldn't get on the end of.
Alvarez plays it against Martinez, who says that came back off the man in blue, and that's what the officials agree with. Goal kick.
But that's what he'll do. That's what he'll add to the team. He'll run in behind. He's another body up front to try and occupy another centre half.
12 second half minutes, safely negotiated by Manchester United, but in the face of increasing pressure. Rodri. Doku. Alvarez. Stones couldn't have a crack. Passes across now. Rodri's there to keep the attack going. Too high for Haaland. Bruno Fernandes. There was a tumble from Foden, but I don't think he really believed anything had happened himself. And now Manchester United break. Garnacho won't be able to go all the way.
Just couldn't get away from him, could he? Just managed to pip in front of him there, Guardiola.
Rodri. Doku. Doku's had a go, and Wan-Bissaka stayed put.
Well, Wan-Bissaka's having to defend now, isn't he? He's having to defend 1v1, which he didn't have to do in the first half, because Guardiola was the one in there, was normally knocking it back, but we know what Doku wants to do. He wants to run at him.
Just put his hands on his knees, Doku, as though he's shattered already. There he goes. Help is there from Guardiola. Walker sizes it up. Great save, Onana. That was ripping in.
What a save. Great strike that was. I think he sees it late as well, you know, manages to have the arm power there to sort of keep it out. Brilliant strike from Walker.
Foden. There's Alvarez. Doku, immediately Wan-Bissaka engages. Walker. Bernardo Silva. Bruno Fernandes facing him. Alvarez. Rodri. United are camped back in their own box, and it's taken away from Onana at the cost of a corner, but it might be a decent bit of defending from Varane anyway.
It was very, very good again, very similar to the first half.
City getting on with it. Alvarez too high.
Well, it's much better from Manchester City, isn't it? They're moving the ball quicker, more determination. Much better play, stretching, making the pitch bigger again and creating 1 or 2 chances. And that one there with Alvarez, it's the left foot. He doesn't really look comfortable at all here, but here's this wonderful save. It's a fantastic strike. He sees it late, you know.
Kyle Walker only goes for goal when he really believes it's on. And there, he thought it was in.
It's a big thank you off Dallo as well, and rightly so. Wonderful save.
City have taken the lead in attempts on goal. And it is, as always, That statistic in the top left of your screen, that's the only one that matters.
All that matters.
No goalkeeper has made more saves in the Premier League this season than Onana. He's been busy. And there he was brilliant. Just wonder if any Manchester United supporters, and I'm sorry to remind them of it, might be thinking of the semi-final. 3-0 up against a team in sky blue. This looks a little different. This feels a little different.
Yeah, you can see I know they're under pressure, and that's what we thought would happen in the second half, but the goalkeeper's going to have to play well, the centre-halves are going to have to stay concentrated and tight, and they're doing that at the minute.
Bruno Fernandes. McTominay. Blocked by Stones. It did bounce up somewhere near his arm, but can't do anything about that.
And they will get a chance, you know, because the longer the game goes on, the more City are going to take more chances and push men forward.
Stones. Alvarez. Docker. And that's going to run away from Phil Foden. Wan-Bissaka again did his job to the letter against Jeremy Docker.
Absolutely. The one question I would ask, though, is that because of the lack of game time with those two centre-halves, will be able to last extremely well up until now.
Trying to keep out a team that has scored 148 goals in 58 games in all competitions this season. They've only failed to score in 4 before today. Under the Stones. Foden. Beautifully played through. Alvarez in, but he's missed. One of the best chances they've had all game, if not it.
The best chance. No doubt about it. 1v1 with the goalkeeper. He gets himself into a great position. We said this is what he would offer when he came on. For that ball in behind should be in the back of the net. It's a great chance. He doesn't really quite look comfortable. He just gets it a bit too tight in his feet. Never pushes it away enough, does he?
It got stuck. It is the sort of moment as we move towards the halfway point of the second half when some start to think that's the day summed up. Back with Ortega. Probably wishing more than anybody else in the City camp some sort of redemption to start to happen. Onana clear. There's Rashford. Little bit of ball juggling. Dalot takes over. Dalot has a look, but fires wide. And your question, Alan, about how long will the centre-backs last? Well, I think one of them's going off in a moment or two because Johnny Evans is getting ready to come on.
Yeah. It's no surprise, is it? I mean, they've done incredibly well to last this long and perform the way they have done. The two of them have been magnificent up to now.
City will try and keep the ball going so there's no time for United to make changes. City is the plaintive cry from the end that their team is attacking.
And there's the difference there in terms of making the pitch bigger. Got Doku this side and Bernardo Silva with chalk on his boots at the other side, stretching.
Here's Guardiola. Now John Stones rocking back, and it's missed the target by a distance.
And he's getting a round of applause off his manager, but Man United will be quite happy with him shooting from 25 or 30 yards.
Well, Johnny Evans and Rasmus Højlund over the last 2 minutes have had those bibs on, those bibs off, and little trot down the touchline again. They'll be coming on soon. Højlund has come on as a sub and scored in both of United's last 2 games. McTominay runs into Akanji. Foden manages to get out of a tight spot. Doku is stopped by Wan-Bissaka. He's stopping him at source.
Yeah, he's doing well. He's not giving him. As soon as he gets that ball, he's trying to get as tight as possible because he knows once he runs at him, it's trouble.
Guardiola's header. Foden. Amrabat takes control. Garnacho. And Dalot is pushing forward in the left edge of the box. Garnacho took it on himself.
It was the right decision to take it on himself because there was no option in the middle other than for him to put his head down and have a shot again. There's just no one there, so why not have a pop?
United's first corner of the match. Fernandes gives the signal. What a play for a City throw. What's happened there?
He went to tackle Johnny Evans.
Bernardo Silva and Johnny Evans getting acquainted a little unnecessarily.
Well, he was coming on. He's injured now.
Oh, Kanchi nearly made an almighty error there. Got away with it. Away by Ortega. Haaland. Amrabat into tackle. Haaland strong enough to hold him off.
He's done well in there, Amrabat. Nothing spectacular on the eye, but he put a shift in to make it difficult for the opposition.
He's done well the last few games. Doku. Rodri. And Foden has gone down and he wasn't even looking for it. Those not wearing half and half scarves have very different expressions to those who are.
I mean, you haven't got one.
Should be banned. Here's Doku. Well, there nearly was Doku, but Wan-Bissaka is doing really well against him. Walker holding on to Rashford. Coming away with the ball. It's the United fans who are howling, and Bruno Fernandes who is screaming at Andy Madley.
Yeah, they were both at it, weren't they?
Well, you would know.
What are you trying to say?
Alvarez bundles past one. A little bit of room appeared for him. Doku has more. Doku trying to thread it through, and Bernardo Silva just the wrong stride pattern when the ball arrived.
Just couldn't fall for anyone, could it? You could see what he was trying to do, Doku. He had him where he wanted him.